Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to take a deeper look at the 50 Shades of Shame to try to extend the conversation beyond the simple that we've had recently with respect to a cult leader that has recently admitted his engaging with animals and having liked it as a kid. We don't know at exactly what age as a kid. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18, 20. These are all young age. He said when he was young. At any rate, allow me to read this particular piece here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for indulging me. Animals abused for a sexual pleasure of sick humans. Orangutan pony is not an urban legend. Her pain is real. So many humans, but zero humanity, getting worse with each new day. Mankind has reached the point of the animal that has never learnt how to think and how to behave. The wars and social crisis that we have created ourselves, what we've created ourselves is nothing when we compare with the environmental incidents and demolition of the nature. It is happening all over the globe. Human race is a pest that doesn't stop to eat this planet like a cancer, our bodies. Trophy hunting, animal abuse, animal cruelty, and so many forms of wildlife and ecological terrorism have turned the earth into the hot zone. People are literally cleaning the surface from everything which should stay and bringing everything which should be gone. The domino effect. The world is dying. And we're applauding. Nevertheless, the animal prostitution has never been so much spoken in public because its victims are voiceless. They can't say that they are misused and that some sick uncle has played with them and touching them in an inappropriate way. The animals cannot speak and their suffering is never ending. That doesn't mean it isn't there. That means it is there, and it is almost blessed by the ignorance and indifference of all of us who maybe believe it is just an urban legend. See, here we go again. They're calling it an urban legend, and we heard of Natureboy talking of what he was doing to animals. I'm wondering, was he doing this in an urban setting or not? But it is beyond urban legend, ladies and gentlemen. The animal prostitution is a real problem and hits all of our societies. It is not reserved only for backward countries, but also for very modern ones. You would never think that they are on the blacklist of shame. In many lands, the sexual relationship with animal is not considered as illegal, or at least is not limited and processed by the law. That is the biggest problem because it gives space and possibility for many psychopaths and people who are gravitated towards zoophilia to misuse the innocent animals without any fear from the jurisdiction. In some states, like in Finland, Hungary, and Romania at this moment, it is legal to have sex with animals as long as the animals are not hurt. Who will say if animal enjoys that pervert thing and if it is hurt or not? This sounds like the worst horror ever for all compassionate fighters for human rights. In last years, Denmark is trying to shut down this chapter and announce that bestiality is illegal. But this country is already being known as the place with the controversial animal rights and lots of pain for animals. Back in 2014, according to one article, Denmark's agricultural minister, Dan Jorgensen, proposed a big change. I propose a change in the law on protecting of animals to state explicitly that sexual relations with animals are no longer permitted. Animals have to be treated with respect and care, and they have a right to special protection because they cannot say no. That was the attempt for Danish politicians to save Denmark for slipping into the hell of Wild West animal sex tourism. So in 2015, the progress has been made. It is shameful to even think about the numerous animal brothels around the Denmark that have underground animals that they charge between $85 and $170 for sexual exploitation. The 76% of people in Denmark support the new law regulation against the sexual abuse of animals, but 24% do not want that, and some admit they are sexually excited when they think of animals. The psychology has no excuse for this type of disorder because based on the crime studies, it is directly related to the sexual predators that hunt the animals for their own pleasures. It doesn't surprise that the American FBI has considered animal cruelty and sex with animals as top-tier felony and keep the offenders in the central base. One landmark study, Characteristics of Juvenile Offenders Admitting to Sexual Activity with Non-Human Animals, the correlation is very important. There is often a correlation between sexual abuse against animals and sexual violence against humans. Studies of adult sex offenders appear to support the co-occurrence of sexual offenses against humans and animals among some offenders. The data suggests that juvenile animal offenders should be considered a subgroup of sex offenders in that 23 of 24 juveniles, 96% who admitted to bestiality, also admitted to sexual offenses against humans. The Organization for Occupy for Animals has collected the disturbing materials that shows the high rate of sexual abuse of animals, particularly in civilized European activity. Some of the U.S. states ban bestiality, but some have not yet signed it as illegal. That is now one of the growing problems in America, where even now the third gender is having some rights. Just for a reminder, Canada also has done nothing regarding this issue. Canada's Supreme Court legalizes some acts with animals. Canada's highest court has just ruled that some sex acts between animals and humans are legal. The convicted man took his case to the Canadian Supreme Court, demanding that the bestiality charge be nullified. In the end, the court agreed with the convicted man. Germany is also fighting the battle against the sexual offenders that abuse animals. There are evidences that some people consider zoophilia like a lifestyle choice, and they sneak into the people's farms to abuse poor goats and sheep. The people gathered in Zita believe that they have a right to have sex with animals, and they invite others to join them in erotic zoos. Disgusting. The websites offer the clips and photos of this kind of bestiality, and German authorities promise they will reconsider the National Animal Protection Code and give more accent on ban on zoophilia, because the sex with animals is banned in Germany in 1969, but this time it should be stronger and goes together with fine up to £20,000 for a first offense. Sexual tragedy of animals, and not only in Europe though. The story about the sexual abused female orangutan pony has made us all think about the terrible situation in the soul of the human race. When the Foundation Borneo Orangutan Survival and its vet, Carmele Lano, have informed the public that there are traffickers that kidnap female orangutans and abuse for sexual industry, the tale of 12-year-old orangutan pony has been already told and retold. The poor animal has been saved by the mentioned foundation, and she was found as shaved, washed, perfumed, and with makeup. In other words, she was ready to be misused as a sexual object in dirty brothels in a palm industry sector. Her job was to earn money for her owner. Pony was chained to a bed to make easy and free of incidentals the abuse of the poor animal by the customers of a brothel in a village in central Borneo, Indonesia, called Kerempangi. They were required 30 state police officers to dislodge the brothel and rescue the animal, who is recovering now in the Bangamat River Island, one of the 3 islands used to reintegrate the great apes, which have suffered any kind of damage in their contact with humans. Lano asserts that orangutans' prostitution has become a common practice in Asian countries, especially among workers of logging companies and palm oil plantations, but she warns that it is not only a form of abuse used against orangutans. While female orangutans are tortured and prostituted, the male orangutans are used for boxing shows. The global sickness regarding this issue is not our nightmare, it is our shameful reality. The proof that we are broken as an intelligent race and that all we have now is ignorance and egoism. The people who abuse innocent animals for their perverted sexual fantasies are those that must be expelled from the society, jailed, and processed. There is nothing naive and non-disturbing about their sexual choices. All they do is pure sadism and crime that is able to endanger other categories in the future and to bring the final destruction to the system we are stuck in. This burning question of animal prostitution, zoophilia, and bestiality must be addressed as soon as possible because we are already losing an heir in this infectious swamp known as mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And please support, wherever you are, the movement to stop animal prostitution, ban bestiality, and never follow anyone, claim anyone who is Christ that has ever engaged in such activity. The blog is called sarahmaxresearch.com. Sarah with an H. sarahmaxresearch.com. Ladies and gentlemen, this is information inspired by a guru by the name of Natureboy, who has admitted, as you've seen on this page, and he may have had it on his own page, he admitted to enjoying the feeling behind dogs licking his penis. He came out of the closet, came out of the bestiality closet. And if there are any others like him, I suggest you keep that to yourself and discuss it with a therapist. And I suggest you never ever attempt to be a guru, a spiritual guru, or a leader, because you'll be playing yourself. This is Marwan. Thank you for listening. Good evening.